I'll go over just one time real quick the Prabhupada melody. So, um, so, so we number our fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we want to keep our hand in the same position while we're playing. So we want to put one finger on each key, and so we start on C, and C you can find by finding the two black notes, and then the note right to the left of the black note is C. So this is going to be in the key of C, so this will be Do or Sa in Indian notation. And so we have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, or Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Ga, Ma, Re, Sa, Ma, Ga, Re, Sa. I don't think I said that right, but that's fine. Okay, so the Prabhupada melody, it starts on Re, and it starts on the fourth beat of the measure. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, we come in on 4, and then Krishna is on the first beat of the measure. So 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Re Mi Fa Fa, Mi Re Mi Mi, Re Do Re Re, Mi Mi Re Do. And in Indian notation is Re Ga Ma Ma, Ga Re Ga Ga, Re Sa Re Re, Ga Ga Re Sa. And then by numbers would be 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. Or sorry, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So that's what we've been going over the last couple of classes. So, I encourage us all to keep practicing those on our own. And so I do want to, while we are working on that, I want to start practicing the second part of the Prabhupada melody, which sometimes you hear it more often than others. Some people don't really play it. That's okay. I definitely want to teach it because Prabhupada would definitely sing it. But I do want to preface it that oftentimes, and this is my experience as well, and I've heard it on recordings, that when you sing it, people might not respond with it. They'll just respond with the normal melody, which is fine. But it is nice to sing, and it is also, like I said, what Prabhupada would sing. And but also I'll say that when he would play this, Prabhupada would typically just play it for the first part of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and then for the second part, he would usually go back to the normal melody. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, right? So I will. So let's go ahead and play it. So first I'll sing it with the Maha Mantra, and then I'll do the solfege and Indian notation. So the rhythm is the same. Also, I do want to say that I know I've mentioned this before, but oftentimes with Maha Mantra melody, there might be a second part or a third part, sometimes more. The rhythm will often stay the same, but the pitch will change. So it's the same with this Prabhupada melody. The rhythm is the exact same, pretty much, and the melody changes. So in this one also, we come in on the fourth beat, and So it'll go 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll do it again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this one, as you notice, we are using the pinky on pa or so. So the pinky is used on this second part of the melody. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. So, okay, now I'll do solfege, the European solfege. So it's do, 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 re, mi, re, do, 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 re, so, fa, mi, re, do. And then re, mi, fa, fa, mi, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do. And I'll do Indian notation. So it's sa, 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 re, ga, re, sa, 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 re, pa, ma, ga, re, sa, re, ga, ma, ma, ga, re, ga, ga, re, sa, re, ga, ga, re, sa. Yes, so there we have it. And I guess I do want to briefly mention, when you listen to Prabhupada sing it, I feel like he doesn't have like a uniform way that he sings it every time. So he'll do little variations, like sometimes he won't go da da da. He'll just go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Or sometimes he'll hesitate a little bit before he goes up to the high note. So he'll go like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. He'll do that sometimes. But I feel like the way that I played it is probably the most consistent way you'll hear it sung. But I just want to mention that in case you're listening and you hear he sings it a little bit different. That's going to happen, and that will also happen if you just listen to his kirtans and you really pay attention to his melody that he sings. You may notice a couple of differences from the way that it's traditionally sung in ISKCON. The main one, which I've started noticing more and more, is he doesn't really sing re in the melody when he's coming down. So he'll sing, and actually he'll start on mi. He'll sing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, or Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But in ISKCON we don't really sing it like that, and even during Prabhupada's time and all the recordings, you'll hear him sing it that way, but the devotees will respond Ram Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why. I think it's just more, it's honestly more European, because in basically all of European music, Western European anyways, where we get all of our tonal harmony rules from, you have this chord progression, which is pretty much the foundation for all the music, which is 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. And so which is, I get those numbers from if you ascribe a chord. So a chord is 3 notes that are a third apart. Right? Those are chords. So if you put a chord on the first note of the scale, that's a 1 chord. And if you go up to do, re, mi, fa, this is the 4th note of the scale, you put a chord on there, that's a 4 chord. And then the 5 chord. So 1. That is the foundation for Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. At some point, especially towards the 20th century, they started deviating from that, but basically that's Western tonal harmony in a nutshell. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. So for the Westerners, they're expecting to hear that, they want to hear that. And to be fair, Prabhupada would sing. Sometimes he would sing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, when he would start the kirtan. But then after a couple of times, then he would revert to Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Again, for whatever reason, I really don't know. But the disciples would keep singing Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. So I do want to point that out as well. Just when you're listening to Prabhupada Kirtan, and if you hear that discrepancy, then but generally we don't sing it that way. You're certainly welcome to, but I want to point that out. So, any questions? Is everyone following me so far?
I had a question real quick.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you think maybe Prabhupada did that for, I guess, like a little bit of variation or artfulness or a little change in the, I guess, mood, maybe?
I really don't know. The part that really confuses me about the why is that, so I've been listening to more Prabhupada Kirtans, and typically the first time he'll sing it the way that we all know it. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, and then also Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. That's pretty typical. But then the next time, he'll sing Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, and he'll keep it that way throughout. Now, there's 1 or 2 recordings I found, and they seem to be much later recordings, where he is singing Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare throughout the whole thing, but it's also because it seems like it's not as much of a call and response, that everyone is just chanting, and I think he's more just going along with the audience, I think. But exactly why, it seems very, what's the right word? It seems very, like that's the way that he does it, where the first time he sings it, he'll sing Re on Krishna, Krishna and Rama, Rama, but then the next time he sings Do there, and that seems to be the way he does it. So exactly why, I couldn't tell you, and I'm not sure anybody knows. I mean, I honestly, I want to talk to some Prabhupada disciples, ones that have, listened to him do kirtan and see if they have any input on it. But exactly why, I do not know. It just is what it is.
Awesome, very interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And it is very fascinating, and it really, I mean, for me, it really just deepens the mystery, of exactly why. We may never know, but we have the recordings, and we know how he does his kirtans. But also, as the time has gone on, it's really been set in stone of doing the 1-4-1-5-1 progression. And I know our Western ears really are drawn to that, and that's what we expect to happen. So, you know, I'll play it with the chords. If you can't hear because of the weird audio, that's okay. But, you know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like that 5-1, we just expect to hear it, and so it fits very, very nicely, and so that's the way that has become the standard way. So, but technically, that's kind of a variation from the way that Prabhupada did it. But whenever we're in kirtan, that's the way that 99% of the time. Honestly, I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone sing it the way that Prabhupada typically does, with the Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. And also, for what it's worth, I'll mention he goes up to me instead of Krishna Hare Hare. He goes Hare Hare, and he actually does a little grace note. So a grace note is like da. So he goes like da Hare Hare, and he does that very consistently. He'll do that little grace note, Hare Hare, but nobody really sings it that way. So, for all intents and purposes, we're gonna practice it the way I've been teaching. But since we're on the subject, I want to mention that because I think it's really important to know, just to deepen our connection with Srila Prabhupada and how he would sing. And that's how I felt, you know, when you really are listening to those things and you're hearing the little different things. And I have noticed that listening to Prabhupada kirtans, he'll do little bitty changes here and there. Like he doesn't sing the melody the exact same way every single time. He'll do little bitty variations. And I think that, like Ram Prabhu was saying, it does seem, you know, like there is some artistic input there. But there's also, and you know, when you watch a video of Prabhupada singing, you know, he has his eyes closed and he's really absorbed, and he's just singing from the heart, you know, from the spirit, really, all the way. And so, as musicians, you know, we will do little artistic variations and flares that are just an expression of how we're feeling and what we're experiencing. So that's totally normal. So yes, as the melody Jyoti had shared as well, you know, the little variations, they just add a little flavor, and sometimes it just helps us express what we're feeling a little better with those little variations. So, and on that note, I do want to add, there is another variation that Prabhupada would do on Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this one, I think you hear even less often than the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So the way that this is he actually will go down to so, or pa. So he'll go Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and then he'll go Hare Rama, Rama. It escaped. No, sorry. He'll go Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll do the whole thing. So he'd sing something like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And so you notice with the finger position, what I did there is I moved my index finger to do, and that way I can reach down to so or pa with the thumb and then come back up. So there's a technique. Sorry, go ahead, Jyoti.
No, just practicing maybe this.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, this won't be on the test or anything, but I want to mention it because Prabhupada, he does it fairly regularly as well. And I think it is nice to just add in there for some variation. But this brings us to a technique that sometimes, especially with a wind instrument like the harmonium or organ, this is basically like a pump organ. You'll find where if you need to move your hand like that, you can, while holding the note, you can take a finger and place the finger on the note as well. I don't know if you can see. So technically, your thumb and your index finger are both on the note. So you play this, then you put this, and then you move the thumb. That way there's no break in the note. See, listen. See, if I was to lift up, there'll be a gap there. But if you place the finger on the note before taking the thumb off, then there's no break there. See, so that's something you can practice as well. That's a technique. It'll come in handy when you're playing, and I found myself doing it. It's a piano technique as well, but it's a little less common on the piano because the piano, you strike the note with the hammer, but you'll basically do that to keep the note resonating. If you notice on a piano, when you take your hand off, there's a damper, and it'll dampen the string and it'll stop the note. So you can do that to keep the damper up so it doesn't stop. But it's more common with organ. So that's a little technique that when we'll have some melodies that probably feature that more often. But since it came up, I'll go ahead and mention that as well. Okay.
Keep the original finger on there and then switch fingers while keeping it pressed.
Yes. So you keep the finger you have, you keep it pressed while putting, in this instance, the index finger there, and then the index finger stays pressed while we move the thumb down. Yes. So yeah, that's a little more of an intermediate technique, but it's one that is going to get you'll get a lot of use out of that as we progress. Especially as if we're working on playing the drone note. So like if we're playing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if we're playing in that type of way, we might find ourselves using it more often. So has anybody practiced playing or holding do or sa while playing the melody?
The one that you show right now, that one?
Yes. So holding this note with the thumb while playing the Maha Mantra. I'm not sure if you can hear that.
With do, and with the do I have to press fa from the different block. Do and fa together.
Yes.
Okay, I'll practice that one and send you this.
Yes. That's yeah, that will be the next step is playing do while playing the melody. Let me no, the position is a little hard to see. So. And then here I move down to T or C or Ni, so that it's a 5. It's basically it's a 5 without the 5, so it's the 3rd and the 5th of the chord. The entire chord. Actually, you can go down to this, and that's actually more harmonically correct. It's just harder to do because having to make that jump. Whereas here, you're just moving your thumb down. But you can practice moving the thumb as well. Down to so.
We cannot hear anything, Prabhuji, but we could see the movement.
Okay. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, these maybe I need a better microphone. Actually, I have a microphone.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like the external microphone, if you have one, just keep it close to your, harmonium or a keyboard, and then set it to live, and it should work.
Okay, yeah, I have a USB microphone. I'll dig it out and see if it works.
Because when the audio is close to the source, right? Then only the mechanism will work. Otherwise, it's gonna treat it as a the what should I call it?
Yeah, it's
Distortion or something.
it's background noise.
Yeah, it'll consider it as a background noise unless you keep the microphone very close to your keyboard or harmonium. That's what I did actually. Mine has a USB same, and just keeping it on top of the keyboard.
Okay. Yeah, that's so weird. All right, well, that's fine. Yes.
Michael, you don't have an iPhone, do you?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, because I think you already probably know about the wide spectrum feature.
I don't. No, I know nothing about Apple.
Gotcha. Sorry.
But I'm recording with my phone. So I didn't upload last week. It was just Mira and I. And I don't know, I didn't really like the way it came out. But this class, I'll upload what I'm recording, since I am doing a lot of the solfege and the Indian notation. So I'll upload this video so you all can hear the audio if you want to go back over it. And so we are running out of time here, but before we go, I want to at least introduce you all to the Pranam mantra melody, which is Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. And so, from what I can tell, this melody comes from Vishnujan Swami. It seems like that's the oldest recording of it I can find. Prabhupada didn't sing it this way. When he would sing Pranam mantra to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, it was more, he would just kind of go back and forth between like do and so, or sa and pa, and there was less musicality to it. But this version seems to be from Vishnujan Swami. And Vishnujan Swami had 2 or 3 different ways he would sing it. So, but this is the one that has endured. And so I will show you this one. But also, I want to preface by saying that Vishnujan Swami has a couple of variations which both get sung in ISKCON. So I do want to teach you both. And it is important to teach you both because the rhythm is actually different. So the way that Vishnu Jan Swami typically would sing it, it has one measure. The last measure of it is in 2/4. It only has 2 beats before going back into itself for Nama Om. But then for Namaste, it goes back to 4 beats. So typically this is awkward, especially if you're following along with the Prabhupada tal on Mridanga, because you'll have to change the way that you're playing the tal in order to get back on the right beat. But that's just the way that he would sing it, and that's the way that it's endured. So so just to illustrate that, I'll sing it and I'll clap so you can hear. So this one, it comes in on the first beat of the measure. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om. So yeah, let me count that just so you can hear it. So I'll start from the second part. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 1, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. So that's important to be aware of, and that's the more common way, in my experience, what I've heard. That's the more common way that you'll hear it, where it has that last beat of 2/4 before going back into itself. But the way that I like to sing it is to just make it 4/4 all the way. And the way to do that is to change where you sing Swami. Okay? So the way that Vishnu Jan sings it, and the way that we typically hear it is Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami, right? But if you want to do where the whole thing is 4/4, then you'll not sing Swami there, you'll sing it on the next part. So it'll go Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om. Okay. So I'll show it to you both ways. I know it's kind of confusing. I'm really sorry. But that's the world of ISKCON that we live in. And I want to teach you both ways because you're going to encounter both. You can choose the way that you like to do it better. And we can go. But also just a quick side note. So the way that we sing it is a variation from the way that Vishnu Jan Swami sang it on Bhutale. So we do Bhutale, Re Mi Fa Mi Re, but the way that he would sing it is Bhutale. He wouldn't do the da 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 da. That's just kind of become an ISKCON thing. I can't really find instances of him singing it that way. So he just sings Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale is what it is. So I just want to mention that. And okay, without further ado, I'll show you the solfege. So I'll do it in European solfege and then Indian notation. So it goes like this. And it starts on so. So again, we're focusing on keeping our hand one note per key, and we don't want to move our hands for now. And we don't if we don't have to, and we don't. So it starts on so. So it's so fa mi re re mi re do re mi re do re mi fa mi re. So fa mi re do mi re do. Do re mi re do. Sorry, I wasn't sure which variation I was on. So that's the Vishnu Jan original, which has the measure of 2/4, where you have na Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Oh wait, no, that's sorry. Nirvishe. Ha! Sorry. Let me just start over. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. So yeah, that's the version, the Vishnu Jan original. So now we'll sing it all in 4/4. So it's so fa mi re mi re do re mi fa mi re. So fa mi re do fa do re mi re do. So yeah, the Swami Swamin iti namine will come in on fa, typically. Or you can sing it on do. Swamin iti namine. But I think I hear it more often with fa. And again, these are more examples of variations. You'll hear it both ways. So I'm trying to include some of those for you. Okay, so now I'll sing the Indian notation. And I'll do the Vishnu Jan Swami version first. Pa ma ga re ga re sa re ga ma ga re. So pa ma ga re do ga re sa. I said do, sorry, sa. Sa re ga re sa. And then the 4/4 version is pa ma ga re ga re sa re ga ma ga re. Pa ma ga re na. Okay, sorry. Pa ma ga re sa ma sa re sa. Bear with me. I'm learning Indian notation. So,
maybe I should put little sticky notes with the Sarigama on the keys, because I'm not used to Sarigama either. I'm more used to Do Re Mi Fa.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, because I was in orchestra, so we kind of did that.
Oh really? I didn't know that. Cool. Okay. So yeah, that's why I want to teach it both ways. And doing the Indian notation, it's because I want to learn it, and so this is forcing me to learn it. So, but whichever way is more comfortable for you, and it's up to you. And if if you're in a position like me, you're more familiar with Do Re Mi Fa So, but you want to learn the Indian notation more, then feel free to put the Indian. But also I want to say, and also I know I've explained this in previous classes, but I'll say it again, and also for you, Ram, is that take note that the Do Re Mi Fa So, they do not indicate a specific key. They indicate the relationships of the notes in that key. So for example, we're in the key of C, and this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So in the key of C, C will be Do. And we're going to stay in the key of C for a while, or the key of A, which is the same key signature as key of C, just minor. Because there's no black keys, it's very easy. But if we're in another key, let's say the key of D. Now D would be Do. If we're in the key of E, now E would be Do. And actually, you might be familiar with this since you said you were in orchestra. But I just want to mention that. So if you're putting stickers, make sure just to not conflate that this is always do. It's only do in the key of C.
So like when before you start a kirtan, like you pick your do and then everything is in relation to that, right?
Correct. Yes. Or in the same with, sa, re, ga, sa, re, sa. So, but this is a system, it's called movable do, where the do will move depending on the key that you're in. And that's the European way. And also with the Indian notation, it's the same. I guess you'd call it movable sa. However, in some countries and some regions, like all of Latin America, they have a fixed do. They don't do movable do, they have fixed do. So C is always do, no matter what key you're in. And it's really confusing. I don't understand it, but it is how they do it in some regions, like Latin America. This will always be re. So if you're in the key of D, it would be re, mi, fa, so, re, mi, fa, which is just breaks my brain. I can't do it. But just to introduce you to that concept is out there, but we're not doing fixed do. It's movable do. That's how we're doing it. But it is the same way in the Indian system, which I'm very happy to have discovered that in my research. So I don't have to worry about fixed do. And frankly, it really defeats the purpose of the solfege, because the point is the relationship between the notes. Do, mi, so, fa, re, ti, do. All of those notes have a specific relationship with one another, and that's the point of it. So, but that's why we have, the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, D, C. So that we can name the individual notes, but then we can have solfege that represents the relationships between them for the keys. Okay, and then for Namaste, Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Bhasketya Deshatarine. It's the same as Nama Om. But in this one, like I said, it's 4/4 all the way. You don't have that measure of 2/4 that's weird. And you play fa or ma at the end. Same as Swamin Itinamine Bhasketya Deshatarine. You'll play that fa. So yes, I want to introduce you all to that. I know it's a little more challenging. Actually, I would say it's quite a bit more challenging than the Maha Mantra. There's a lot more going on there, but it's an essential part of the kirtan. We will typically play through it, sing it every time we do kirtan. So I want to start learning it early, and so that when we all are at the point where we're ready to start leading kirtan on harmonium, we have that very, very well known, and start working on that. But if you're struggling with it at first, that's okay. Keep working on the Prabhupada melody, and then over time, as our fingers get more used to the keys and it becomes more comfortable for us, then the learning it will come. But yes, don't be too hard on yourself, because it is a more advanced melody and there's more things going on there, but it's essential to learn. So we're going to keep working on that as we go on. So I think we'll stop there. I will just say that then the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda mantra is similar to the Prabhupada Pranam mantra, but there are differences. It's not exactly the same. There's a little change in there that we can go over, but I don't want to get to it yet. I don't want to overwhelm you all. So I do want to stop there and just So before we go, are there any questions? Anything anybody wants me to go back over, or what? Let me know.
For the process.
Should I share one? I sent one video in a group in which I practice the original keys because if in case I'm practicing wrong, then I will like correct it before.
Yes. No, I encourage everyone. Feel free to share videos of what you're practicing. And yes, for that reason exactly. If there's something that you are maybe not doing the best, or something that could need a little tweak here and there, then we can catch it before it becomes more of a habit. And I know, like, I've had this experience. I think Mira was expressing it as well, that we learn something not quite the best way, and we kind of form the habit of doing it that way. So then having to break that habit is even more challenging than just learning it in the first place. So if we do want to avoid any bad habits, or maybe just not doing it the most efficient way, because really the way that I'm teaching you all is to be most efficient in the way that we're learning, so that as we progress, like, we're building a foundation that we can add onto better. And so if we keep our hand in the same position, not crossing over thumb and index finger when we don't have to, it's going to build a foundation so that when we advance more, we can do it better.